How's your dad doing?
Pretty good.
How was he?
He'll be 90 in March.
No kidding. He is that old.
Slowed up a lot.
Yeah.
Sitting over at Sally's now,
Yeah.
having coffee.
Man. Who's older, him or Marlo?
Oh, Merle is.
Marlo is.
Yeah, Marlo. He had just retired when he got that blood disease. And I think he lasts less than a year after he retired.
Yeah. Cigar Marlo.
Yep. But that's not what killed him.
No. How big was that family?
They were the two youngest, and then there was three more, I think, after that, above them. John used to be the corn sheller from Leland. He moved out to Colorado and then Arizona, and did very well in real estate sales out there. And then his son got into it. His daughter.
Okay.
They picked the right time to go to Arizona.
Yeah.
In the 50s.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, John told his uncle lives down there. What was the name of that place? Northwest of, or northeast of Phoenix.
Northeast.
Yeah.
Scottsdale.
Scott, no. North of that even.
Okay.
God, what was the name of that? It's been
So
so
my
long.
uncle lived up near Squaw Peak, and there's also the to the northeast. I stayed at the casino hotel up there near Superstition Mountain. And it's pretty nice up there.
Anyway, his uncle talked John and I into buying 40 acres with him. You know, man, he sat on it for 10 years, but holy smokes. What was it?
Is Bill gonna come with us, or?
I don't know.
He's wrapped up in talking with. Let him talk.
You didn't see a chair of the board out there somewhere, did you?
Chatting it up, and I want to go get him.
You guys about ready? I was already in here once and nobody was here.
Whenever.
We said the Pledge of Allegiance 3 times.
Did you really?
Now we have to say it again.
All right, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
I'll second.
The motion from Derby, a second from Stelter, improvements agenda, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Discussion with possible action regarding COVID-19 policies. Probably no changes, I would guess.
Well, I don't think maybe I did get a policy. I'll have to look.
Oh, yeah, that's
Andy was
right.
putting them together.
Yes, he was. I'll
Yeah.
have to check on that.
See if I got it.
I don't remember getting that.
Hey, Carla, I just talked to Andy, and he said he sent it to you and Kelsey.
Yeah, I don't remember if I heard anything back from Kelsey or not. That's my issue.
Okay.
I'll check my email. Otherwise, we can table this till later.
In the meeting.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll table that one. Is there, Julie, is there anything you got?
No, we're just getting ready and preparing for the vaccine when it will show up. So,
How about the regular flu? How's that?
yep, we're still doing shots. Do you need one, Mike? Come on down.
Hey,
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but if you're going to come this morning, just let us know.
No, just let us know, she said.
Let
Oh,
us
it's gonna
know,
snow
not
one
it's
day.
gonna snow, let us know.
I heard let it snow.
No, we don't want any snow.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
We are still holding those by appointment holding, but if you're in town, Mike, and you need one, come on down.
Okay. All right,
I
anything
don't
else?
see anything here from Kelsey, so I'll talk to her about it and then we'll bring it back next week.
All right, put it back on next week.
Well, regarding that, you know, in all other things in the policy book, we have that committee, the courthouse committee. Really, the ones here are the ones like you and are the ones that have to deal with it. I mean, we don't have to deal with it, you know. So, should we empower a committee to?
No, not for
No,
this.
no.
It's not that big it's just a small
Okay,
policy
alright.
change to the COVID policy, so.
Okay.
All right, well, we'll table that then until we get further information. Anything else for COVID?
Nope.
And we'll move on to Scott Minders, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters.
Yeah, I don't have too much. We started stockpiling rock here yesterday to Buffalo, so they're got trucks going back and forth from Fertile Quarry to Buffalo for stockpiling rock for the summer rock haul. The wind farm project is kind of getting going. They're setting up cranes and doing some work on some
There's
intersections.
not that many turbines there, is there in that group?
44.
Oh, there is 44.
Yeah.
Because they got 3 cranes set up, I think. Already.
Yeah, they got, you know, they can track those cranes from tower to tower as long as they don't cross certain things, you know,
Yeah.
big wide drainage ditch or whatever. So I think they got 3 sets of turbines for
You
each, you know, one for
strategically
each
place
crane.
them, I suppose, to be able to hit
Yeah.
this group and this group.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't think they're really gonna dig into much until after the new year, but getting everything set up and prepared, I guess. So far, everything's going fine out there that I know of.
Yeah, I drove up and down a couple of the roads and they seem to be okay, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's been dry and cool, so fortunate weather for that.
Ever been around a big crane while they're operating?
Last spring was, I would be sitting in the field with my semi waiting, because the guy was spraying the field that they were working on, and I watched them lift I didn't realize they'd take all 3 blades up at once, you know, but they put them together in the ground and they lift them up, and they got other cranes holding it so it can't drag as it goes up, and
I had worked on the one east of Interstate 35, because I was helping Elliot out. I hauled the mats around. And, boy, they take it serious. Oh, do they take it serious.
yeah.
And then one guy tipped one on wheels, you know, big four, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what he'd done, but he tipped it back onto the wake. It didn't tip all the way over.
Yeah.
But they canned him on the spot.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting to watch, and there was a fair breeze that day. They were setting the one that I was right next to, and I'm pretty close to it too, you know. I'm like, man, how does that, you know, all that leverage up there with that weight of these blades and all, it's just amazing.
I just happened to be there when they had the biggest crane in the world there from Germany. Can't remember what it was. The tracks on it were 7 feet tall. I mean, you know, I went next to it and I had to look up the top.
Wow. Okay, well, back to secondary roads.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I guess the big news, which there's an agenda item for this sort of, but Mark announced that he's going to retire the 25th of this year. So we'll have a vacancy in the maintenance superintendent position for a while. At this point, we'll have Ethan Shutter be in the acting role of maintenance superintendent in the interim, since we won't be able to get that position filled that quickly.
Well, we knew this was coming, though, didn't we?
We thought it was coming, I guess, until you have a official notice, I guess. It's pretty hard to make any
We've been under the
decisions.
assumption since like last spring that he was quitting in December. So.
The assumption, that's right, and I think I would share that with you. However, I can't replace an employee that you still have.
Yeah, well, but you can start the process.
Pretty hard to do.
Yeah, yeah, I think it, yeah, we're right.
Well, unless you've had official, yeah. What if he decides not to leave?
Well, and I think that was the concern. He wasn't certain he wanted to leave yet.
Yeah. So at this point, we'll kind of take a look at the structure and most likely advertise internally and externally at the same time. See if we can't find the right candidate either in our own crew or from the outside.
What's the requirements for that one?
Well, you know, Mark's current role is a little bit dual. It's like, you know, road maintenance, everything to do with that, bridge and road construction, and also fleet management. And we'll see if we can find somebody with all those skill sets. But, you know, if we have to juggle a few responsibilities around among the staff we already have, depending on the candidate we find, we can do that. But the requirements are, got to have a CDL, and you got to have some knowledge of what we do, and you got to be
His talents will be missed.
supervision skills, you know, all those
Yeah.
kinds
Yeah.
of things.
Will construction, heavy equipment construction operation be part of that?
I think that's an important thing. I mean, definitely with the way that our crew has been doing construction projects. I mean, bridge replacement projects are,
Well, he can run most any of the equipment, can he?
yeah. You know, he started with the crew,
Yeah.
worked his way up, and has, you know, created things in this department, bridge replacements, and started doing box culverts and concrete structures. And you know, he was here when they did the flat car bridges, and our crews did those. You know, we've done a lot of creative things over the years to try to do some things in house.
We have some of those?
Railroad flat cars, yeah, 3 of them. I think Jim was involved in some research with Iowa State and the county engineers at the time, and I don't know if they got any research money for it, but they were working on trying to get, you know, economic plans for that. Some counties have more of those, and there must be some sort of imprecise part of it, because right now we have them posted for basically 40 tons.
Yeah.
What's
in one lane.
a flat car?
A railroad car, just flat car.
Just like a box car?
No.
Well, box car without the box on it.
Just a flat rail car.
It's like a flatbed.
Oh, you just run that across
Yeah.
the span.
Yeah.
Oh.
Take the wheels off and
Yeah, all right, and set it.
put
All right.
put an abutment underneath
Yeah.
the supports, and I think they're 3 wide, and you got a bridge.
I was thinking more of the tankers that would.
Yeah,
use
well,
that.
as you remember, we put in one of those a
Yeah.
few years ago, tanker cars.
Yeah.
Those two.
I never thought about using a flat car as an actual span, I guess.
Yeah. Well, for a while there, I think they were a little popular and cheap, and I think the price has probably, you know, gone up and down with the price of steel and all that, but I don't know. Mixed opinions on the results of that, but,
Yeah, if you
you know,
get-
they're solid bridges.
You get the price of steel up, and then you look at all them railroad cars that have been sitting on that, down by Belmont down there. Been sitting there for years, there's just, there must be millions of dollars.
They're
worth of
paid
iron-
to
Just
have them
iron.
sit there.
Oh, they're
They
paying.
have to pay rent to the rail.
Oh, is that right?
So UP sells the rail, then turn around and rent it the track from the short line.
Oh,
So they pay so much a month for every car that sits on that
no
rail.
kidding. Gee whiz, you think they just scrapped them?
That's how the short line was able to pay for it. Otherwise, they didn't have enough revenue coming out of Fort City or Garner.
Yeah, oh. That'll be hard.
So I guess I'll be working with Carla to get a little more organized on this replacement project process and job description in place and salary range and all those things. I'll keep in touch with you as we go about it. Do you guys have any initial thoughts that I need to keep in mind as I'm going through it? This will be a big step for our department to.
He's an instrumental cog, there's no doubt.
So I got his, the letter he gave me and then his public purpose resolution for retirement expense for him too. These two forms for you to sign today.
Yeah, I already picked it up
Oh,
and then left it on the dash of my other vehicle.
well, you gotta work on your courier service skills.
Yeah,
Once a week you do something, phones last week.
I can't remember. Except for names, let me tell you, Bert, I never forget a name.
So with this, I mean, we're gonna be one short at least all the way through the winter, most likely. And, you know, with scheduled vacations and stuff, we might be a couple short at times, so.
Do you have substitute drivers available?
We have one right now, and that might be something we need to look into a little bit harder.
Possibly have another one.
Yeah, because we could do that quickly if we found the right person.
Now, anybody that's retired, or would they be allowed to, or?
I think the answer is yes, under certain stipulations. I can't think of,
I know there's a limitation if you retire and you're gonna draw on your IFRS, you can't do it for so many months, right?
yeah. That conversation hasn't been had with any of the retirees, I guess, so. We can include that kind of in the process. But Mark was here for 37 years. Had an accomplished career here.
Yeah,
I have nothing.
anything else for secondary roads? All right, then we'll move on to consider for approval, public purpose resolution. Is that for Mark?
Yep.
Make that motion to approve that.
Duplicate letters and then duplicate resolutions, one for Carlo and for us, I guess.
Do I have to stamp approved? No.
Not on the resolution.
You make the motion? I'll second it.
A motion from Stetser and a second from Derby to approve the public purpose resolution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
What is she, 7511?
I think so.
We're ready.
We were talking about the turbine replacements, and I did find out from Sue that some of the new rules that came out, if there's substantial replacement on the turbines, you can tax them on that. But defining substantial, plus you go back to square one with the 20%, 40%, 60%. And she said everybody across the state, any assessors, are just,
Leave the
you
status
can't,
quo.
they said there's a possibility that the new ones might be coming in valued less than the old ones because of the cost of technology added.
Yeah, but they also make them bigger, so it's, you know,
So Winnebago County is just continuing the tax as was.
okay, auditor's office will discuss drainage matters.
Alright,
For the signers.
Yeah,
just updating on DD11 projects. Haven't heard anything from the Iowa Corps yet as far as straightening out the lower ditch.
We'll give them till the end of this week to check with them again, see what the status is. DD11, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tile project, I talked to the contractor a few days ago. He's hoping to still come back in on that job. He said either be just before the end of the year or just after the end of the year. The other thing he talked about was maybe cutting short on some of his farm drainage he's doing and come back in a little sooner. I had to call into him this morning and I haven't heard back from him yet. He's notorious for calling back, doing well at calling back, but he's never empties his email or his text, so you can't leave a message. But he is still good about seeing who called and calling him back, so.
Oh, look what they hauled the week before, but they didn't haul this last week.
Yeah, he said one day they got a couple of trucks stuck, I guess,
Oh,
so, yeah.
Rick, do you know how many road crossings they have yet to do?
No, I haven't looked at that. Trying to picture it.
there's only one that they will, that
Yeah.
when he gets to the south end of that farm,
Yeah,
but it doesn't go past that section anywhere, does it?
I don't think so. So one, I guess.
One smaller tile.
Yep.
What is it when it crosses there?
I truthfully haven't
Right, it's
looked at
been
it.
so long, I don't remember either.
I don't remember what it was upgraded.
I want to say 24 inch, but I could be wrong easily.
It's probably about right, because tile wasn't much bigger than that when it started.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any bills for us to pay for the road crossings they've already done?
I guess we haven't figured them out, but we sure can.
Well, yeah, I guess,
Yeah, we usually work with the county's secondary roads department on that.
okay. I guess anytime, I was just curious.
Okay, sure.
If they're gonna do it this soon, I guess you could wait till the end.
And that's what usually happens, but this has been strung out so long. We'll see how it goes here as far as getting back in.
Okay.
Try and judge that.
Anything else for drainage?
So no matter what the NRCS figures out on Emerson's land, we're proceeding in the same manner.
Yes, we've required sealing all the joints through that area, and that's been acceptable to NRCS. And that's part of the bid. So, yeah, should be good.
And what has to happen for the rest of the properties that we are mitigating?
Just a decision on how much the district is gonna pay.
We already did that.
Okay.
The district is gonna take care of it. But
Then
I
it's
don't
just
know how it works.
It's just a filing with the Wetland Mitigation Bank.
Oh, okay.
We can work with you on that. We've been
Okay.
through that.
Yeah, because I have not.
It's probably a simpler process this way when.
Yes, oh, much.
discuss it.
Yes, much.
Yeah. So we can get together on that.
Yeah.
We probably want to have that all done by this early summer.
Yeah.
So
Does it take a long time? I don't know.
No, I haven't checked with them lately on the acres they have available, but months ago, they were very close to getting plenty of land.
Oh.
So I'm optimistic they've done that by now. I just haven't checked with them again.
Does that mean the price went down?
I wish. Hopefully it just hasn't gone up again.
Yeah, there's a lot things that are going up in price.
Oh,
just
boy.
Because the demand and the production's not there,
Yep, you're absolutely right.
even Christmas lights.
I've seen more decoration this year than I
They
think I
get
ever
a
have.
shipment,
Yeah, it's
that
cool.
was ordered to hardware store in Buffalo. I guess most places are out of it, but
Most places got one shipment, and that was it.
well, anything else for drainage? No, and we'll, let's see, we can move on to consider for approval cost allocation plan.
This is the one that we sent out to us already.
Yep.
Does this need a stamp?
Actually, that does.
Okay.
Anybody got any issues with it? I guess I read through the emails.
Make a motion to approve the cost allocation plan.
Second that. Motion Derby and second Stenger to approve the cap cost allocation plan. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Stand.
I need the big one.
Oh,
Just on the front then?
Yes, please.
I sign here then where it says signature in Winnebago County. Or I get nervous when I see date of execution on the end, so I don't want to do it wrong.
Just sign right there, please.
Oh, we can have a special election.
Yeah,
What county are we in?
What's that?
they're having a special election on middle of January or something,
Yeah,
January
I think they're
20th.
still a month out. No, we love you, Bill.
Yeah. Makes me feel special. Isn't that special? Was that the church lady?
Yes,
Yes.
the old Latvians or something.
No, it was a Saturday Night Live.
Oh,
many years
yeah,
ago,
yeah,
Back when it was entertaining.
yeah.
Dana Carvey.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I guess we can do open forum.
Mike, who's your money on Saturday with Iowa State and Oklahoma? I think it's gonna be tough to beat them again.
But they proved me wrong about 3-4 times this year.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Me too.
In this case, it's any given Saturday.
yeah, I think so. I'm not a,
Hi, I have a question for you.
go ahead.
Hi, this is Lucas Dorby, and I was a little bit late to join, but I wanted to see. I don't know if you guys.
We're discussing your thing at 9:30, Lucas. Give us just a couple minutes.
Oh, 9:30.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, I just got on. I was just making sure.
Okay.
We're trying to do other things, waiting for the clock to tick. When it's at 9:30, you can't go at 9:29. Especially when they're putting on the end of the sheet here, date of execution on some of this stuff here. I don't wanna do anything wrong today. I don't know what they're up to. Does this need to be stamped received or?
Yes,
We already did two. Let's see, which one's that?
This is the,
for Sue.
Colleen Lampy's
Oh, I
salary.
missed that one. Must've been stuck in there.
Does, Mark say does that need to be?
There's
stamped
two of
or
them already
received?
stamped. I mean, how many do you need?
I had one and then Scott must have had two, so.
Yeah, so it's just.
Oh, I read 2 copies.
Okay.
I stamped the first two.
Oh, I haven't seen it, have I?
That was when Scott was doing his thing.
I don't remember seeing it.
Have you gotten stuff from him yet?
No.
Oh, so this is all for, oh, here they are, here. All right. Okay, 9:30. No, it's not, it's 9:29 on my phone. Now it's 9:30.
Lucas, I'm handing them a copy of your letter right now.
9:30 a.m., Lucas Storby, landowner, to discuss with possible action, private tiling into DD 84, Lat 2C.
You can go ahead, Lucas.
So yeah, I guess we would consider a soup bowl area in the northeast part of the farm, and there's a county tile that is, I guess I can't say for sure how far away from the fence line, but I did some tiling on there, and we had the tiler do some digging on the fence line to see if the county tile was there, because the water only flows to the southeast where that county lateral 2C comes up from, and Tyler called the landowner to the east there, and he denied access to hook into it. So I was just calling to see if I could get, I guess, some help or at least run a line up to the fence line from there to help to drain that 6 acres of that farm, and just seeing what can be done anyways.
And I talked to Iowa Drainage District Association, who talked to their attorney, and he gave me the code section that the landowner has to file with the county, what he wants to do, the size of it, the route, all of that, and that's what he's done in this letter. We just reclassified that district, and he does have 2 acres that flow into that tile system, and the landowner only has like 1 that goes into that tile. So he has more of a right to get in there. It's just having the trustees give that authorization, because we do have that easement on top of the tile, so.
You need to give notice then to the landowner that he's going through.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in there somewhere.
They can do that?
Yes, as long as they've come to you with this plan of where it starts, ends, tile, material.
So as trustees, we're allowing Lucas to access our easement on
Yes.
this person's land, as
Yes.
long as we notify that person.
Yes, correct.
And that'll give him an outlet.
Yes,
Well, that's a no-brainer.
I really think so.
The purpose for denying it was the landowner?
We haven't denied it yet.
No.
The other landowner,
No,
just a
He-
local or
Lucas just
something.
thought that because Steve wouldn't give him permission, that that, he couldn't do it, but he can. So,
Yeah, no, I just wondered why.
Don't
Steve.
ask the question.
Yeah, that's probably not a good place to go.
This is part of the individual drainage rights in chapter 468.
I was gonna say, you have access to any county.
Yes.
I can't understand. All right, so it's,
So, knowing what we do about this, I would make a motion to proceed to to allow, Mr. Storby to access, Lat 2C of DD 84.
And I'll second that.
motion from Derby and second from Stensrud to allow Lucas Storby, access to DD 84 Lat 2C. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Did you find it on there, Terry?
It talks about the notice being served not less than 10 days or more than 90 days you have to set a hearing date then, after you notify them.
Okay, so what code section is that?
That's 468.601. It's the one just down below.
Oh, just below it, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the hearing shall be no more than 90 days nor less than 30 days from the time of the filing of the application, which would be today.
Right.
Hear that, Lucas?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'll get in touch with you, Lucas, okay?
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
So what day would you like to set this hearing?
That's the earliest.
30 days from today.
Middle of January, whenever that meeting ends up being.
Well, he won't be doing anything till spring anyways.
Yeah,
I would assume, maybe not, yeah, maybe not.
well, that's what the weather does, I guess. I'm all for a mild winter.
And then I have to notify that landowner within 10 days of the hearing, but I will do so before that.
So if I understand this right, if he's on the east side of that, then he'd be crossing the road also.
He's on the west side of it.
Oh, he's on the west side. That's what it said.
Yeah, no, he's up over here and he wants to cross this fence
Oh,
line.
okay.
Yep,
Just the
Yep.
fence line.
mm-hmm. Yep, that's why he had somebody look at it and they couldn't find the outlet there. So it must be just into his property and he wouldn't give access to that. So, has to at least be 30 days? At least 30.
Then January 19th.
So I'll make a motion to set a public hearing, for January 19th for the DD 84 Flat 2C access,
Second.
Time of day.
at 9:05.
Second.
Motion from Derby and a second from Stensrud and this is a public hearing, is that what?
Yep.
To set the public hearing for the DD 84 Lat 2C to allow Lucas Storby, access for January 19th at 9:05. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Talk amongst yourselves. Now, what was that from?
Talk amongst yourselves, yes.
Oh,
That's now too, right?
Was that?
Is it Saturday Night Live too?
But who was it? It wasn't the church lady. It was the other one. And now I'm blanking.
Is it Dana Carvey?
Dana Carvey.
What character is he playing?
He was a Jewish, he said Klimt all the time.
Yeah.
he was a Jewish,
Equipment.
like psychiatrist or whatever. He was an advice lady. Then he had a show a show on SNL, and he draw a blank and he said, "Talk amongst yourselves." It's about the only thing I remember that show.
What did Dan Aykroyd say to his co-anchor? I can't remember what he said.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name. Jane? You ignorant?
Ignorant.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez, don't say that.
We gotta have these meetings without extra space in them.
Yeah, no,
You
it's,
just don't know sometimes.
are you saying we digress?
Talk amongst yourselves, Saturday Night Live.
According to Wikipedia, Coffee Talk is a series of sketches performed by Mike Myers on the sketch comedy show Saturday Night Live.
Oh, Shrek.
Or Wayne's World.
Yeah, Wayne's World, yeah, that's right, Wayne's World.
God, that they had fun doing that.
Yeah, that would have been a blast. And how they could keep straight faces when they were doing it too. That's why I still love watching the Carol Burnett show. And watching Harvey Corbin not laugh when Tim Conway.
Yeah, yeah.
Try and see him biting his lips. It's on the same time as the news. I get tired of the news.
Oh, yeah. Especially now.
Yeah,
Well, here's a short take.
As you know, Paul Baldwin is
We could probably get in trouble for posting that on YouTube when it's not ours
yeah,
to.
you're
He
sharing
recovered,
it on YouTube.
was
you know.
doing fine, schmeck as can be, when P.S. long story short, the Spilkers came back. And Geg is into Hague, he's back to square one, go figure.
It's taking too long.
What's that?
Anyway, he's in Boca now, recovering nicely, thanks.
That was a good one.
What's the disclaimer? We don't own the rights to this show and.
Yeah.
Right, all that.
You can
Or
do a
entertaining
snippet, but you
crowd,
can't
which
put too much on.
It has to be for profit, Carl.
Is this not exciting entertainment television?
So since you just got done with a wedding, here's one up in by Brainerd. My niece just lost her dad after her brother's wedding.
Oh,
I know
So
even
they were down to what,
all
10
your
people could be there, and that included the
mainstay songs in
I think
church.
the,
We can't play them
pastor.
in church anymore because
Oh,
we're on
So when they came out,
YouTube and radio.
You know what?
No, but in theory, you can get in trouble.
it was snow out there. She came out without a coat on or anything afterwards, and then they,
Well, they,
The
it's
second
like,
one
it's
was
like,
they-
just like,
or she
Trump
first
doing,
dance.
Yeah.
using songs that
Outside
the
the
artists,
snow.
oh,
they say, quit using them. That's
Been a
all
tough
they
year
can
for
do,
them.
they say, quit using them.
so, oh my goodness.
Well, I'm fine with that. But, for some reason, they're
She was supposed to be there in
stopping
June to get married.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Well, that's the
lot
one
of
thing
them
that
are
Haley said.
copyrights
She
over.
goes, I don't care what happens today. We are getting, or what happens, we are getting married this weekend. So, even though they couldn't have very many people, but it was still a nice day.
We drove down to the church where some friends had their daughter getting married, and they had to just have very few in the church. We just parked outside in the car so we could see them come out, see the dresses,
And
and
they broadcast it on a radio station.
no, it didn't sound like
The
it.
Archbishop broadcast it, so you can sit out there and listen to it, and then see him come out.
That would be cool.
We're finally getting technology enough in our
There's
church.
it all in there.
Just a small country.
Isn't that?
You
We
know what?
put our service on
And it's like
YouTube last week. Now this week we're gonna try and live stream.
Ooh,
It says.
Don't know if we have enough internet capacity
You don't
and
have to be told.
bandwidth to find out.
give it a shot.
Everybody knows.
I have to do a trial run and
It's
see
like,
if it works.
C.S. Lewis, you know,
It took
there's a
almost
stop.
2 hours
There's
to
a
download
comment.
it after I recorded recorded it
Oh,
on the
okay.
computer at the church and just let it.
But it's not.
It downloaded in an hour and a half, but it took another half an hour to process. Then the next day, Google crashes.
So it's okay to have, it's okay to have.
So I was trying to check.
Way to
it.
crash Google.
Yeah.
Not saying-
Well, I thought it was an algorithm trying to block it or something.
Oh, my.
But it was an algorithm.
Most places,
Oh.
even some, yeah.
This one artist had made a picture of Santa Claus kneeling at the history and had integrated two crosses
Just heard a blip
that
on
made
it.
us dogs and kind of blended into
Oh.
the background. It was really neat.
Wow.
This is.
And she was blocked by YouTube,
I was dying in bed.
or by Google, because of an algorithm, they said. They couldn't explain it.
This country.
Oh.
It's hard to know what they're getting away with.
It's our divinely inspired constitution or socialism. Which one do you want? Yeah.
Okay, it's time.
Thank God.
All right, now it's just 9:44 on my phone.
The time nuts.
No soup for you.
It's 9:45. Does your phone say 9:45?
My computer says 9:46.
Oh, really?
My,
What's the consensus here?
my watch says 9:44.
9:44. There's 9:45. Look at that.
All right.
9:45 a.m. informational hearing for DD 18 Lat 11.
My apologies on that. We didn't have all the numbers in that last summary we gave you, and then we updated that. There were gonna be some extra charges because the project got longer if we had to move it on the other side of the culvert. So that added some costs I didn't have in the considerations before. Has the board gotten these? Oh, okay.
But we're not gonna move it now, right?
Right. We're gonna go to that hammer method.
Yep.
I have one, I think, somewhere here. I did have two landowners call me, and they both wanted the hammer method in the original spot.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard from anybody else this last
Yeah.
week.
I'm here regarding that.
Mhm.
So, when
Go ahead.
you're ready, I've got some questions.
You can come in.
Here, Kinsey, you wanna step in and sit out on that?
All right.
Not that it matters to me.
I guess I'd like to have some explanation on what we're looking at.
Okay, with the railroad, we had to be, I believe it's 150 feet from the culvert that goes under the tracks. So we attempted to make that installation north of the tracks. As they were getting there, they ran into sand. So we did some testing and found out that there was a lot of sand to contend with there. The railroad would not allow the normal boring because if you hit a pocket of sand, it could drain an area, it could clear an area under the tracks. So what we looked at then was the hammer method, where they basically hammer this casing in and then take the material out of the casing afterwards so that there's no danger of any collapse of the tracks. That added significant cost to the boring. And you can see that we had $148,405 for that option. Now, in moving it, they dug holes out there and found that if we went 160 some feet south of the culvert, it looked like we'd have a chance of getting a normal boring done. But because there's no guarantee of that, both companies that the contractor was getting prices from would not agree to doing the work unless they were guaranteed payment if they got partway through and ran into problems. They would expect to get paid for their work to that point, which,
What does the contract say?
well, it basically says that
The reason for that question is, because I'm getting told two different things from contractors that know what they're doing.
We have it worded so that they, if unforeseen conditions arise, that they can ask for extension.
Maybe an extra copy of that.
Yes. They can ask for additional services or additional costs. We don't use the method where whatever happens, they're liable. It helps
Why
us
not?
it helps us get better prices, and we don't run into this often at all. So we'd be paying extra on 90-some% of the projects where we don't need it.
The more risk they have to take, the more they'll charge up front.
Absolutely, I've seen it time
Yeah, I
after
understand
time after
that.
time.
So the overall drainage prices of every project will go up if they have to
Yes.
assume all possible risks.
Yes,
Right, but
and we've done this in other counties, even this last season. Same situation.
And I think
Tell
we've
us.
found in the last 10 years that because they bid 100,000, they're gonna bill 100,000. They're not gonna bill 90 most of the time. So we'll end up paying a lot more in the end just because that's what they put on their bid, even though they may have not used it all.
well, that's what bidding processes are for. If I bid something for 100,000, that's what I'm gonna charge.
Right.
Yeah, but we've been awful
But they're bidding
fortunate. There's a lot of
extra.
contractors that have done stuff for us.
The only one I know of is Dave.
I know Larson Contracting has come under on a couple of drainage ditch cleanouts, haven't they?
Yeah, the one we're talking about, reclass and annexation here later, they actually ended up 10,000 less than the bid because of some pipe and things. Yeah,
Well, that's the way it should be. You bid it for so much just in case there's extra stuff. And if you do it for less and you still make darn good money, it's-
not to say there aren't firms that bid it that way, but I think you're spending a lot of extra money on projects you don't need to. I
Well,
understand
I'll
the
I'll
budget.
bet you that every landowner in this project would disagree with that.
This is that 1 out of 100.
Yeah. The railroad
What if it
situation,
was you? What if it was your 100, 1 out of the 100?
And I noticed that you've been good on the other 99. I guess I have to go with things happen that are unforeseen. And I think we as a district, as supervisors, as trustees, as engineers, all learned a valuable lesson about the railroad this time. We haven't run into that in the 10 years I've been here. This is the first
Well, we didn't
railroad.
pay for it. We didn't pay for that lesson.
But I try to be conscientious with landowner money.
I know you.
You
do.
know what I mean?
I
And
know
so
you do.
I,
Yes.
now in the future, we know if there's gonna be a railroad, that there's gonna be a lot of things different that we didn't know about before.
we're gonna do our soil testing.
Oh,
Before the bids
definitely,
go out.
spend the
definitely.
money up front.
Yes, yes.
And that
Before
would-
we ever get a bid.
And would that be before we actually go through with a project?
If that's the case,
Typically
then
not.
if that's the case, are you still gonna have in the contract that they can charge extra if they run into something else?
If we do enough borings to get it represented accurately, a lot more chance of holding their feet to the fire, I guess I'd say.
Well, then you run into the same problem. You've added in a cost of boring or of checking for
Oh, I know.
samples. And so that's gonna cost more for the project.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Right,
That's
but at
why-
least
why
it will be
not-
ahead of time
Not,
instead of
not near as
now.
much as this though.
Why not just lay it in the bid that you're gonna get it done for this and that's it? That's, I mean, it sounds to me like that cost's gonna go up no matter how we do it.
But the
And
cost
if you were
of,
bidding a contract and you were a contractor and you knew that that was gonna happen, would you bid it?
I'd go spend $2,000 of my own money and go out and check. Do what we're talking about right here.
Well, I thought it was
Yeah.
kind of standard procedure to check soils and stuff before you do a major crossing or stuff like that.
we do some checking in the sense that we go out and dig up the old tile and get its location and
Yeah.
flow line and things, but as far as just checking soils, no, we typically don't. Unless
What do
we
you think that would cost?
Are you there?
Between $5,000 and $10,000, I believe, because we had that done on part of this now.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to the extra costs we've got now, that would have been a good.
Well, it's like.
Well, but then the expensive boring would have been in the original bid then.
Yeah,
Right,
So that part would have still been.
Well,
It
if
just
you
would have
look for a
been
new
up front.
location, you can maybe look for a different location.
Or if we bid it, you would have known, you would have made the decision on the price bid. If the contractor said, or if we said to the contractor, this is a bid, get the job done. In other words, you run into problems, yeah, we'll give you more money. I mean, that, to me, that doesn't make sense.
Well, it's a balance because they're gonna put more in their bid to take into
Well, of course
account
they
those
are,
on
of course they are.
And there's a lot more projects that won't have this problem, that will have that extra on them.
But wouldn't you be really ticked off if it was you that's paying this $148,000?
well, but you have
I'm-
to take off the 73.
yeah.
That's
So
a
it's
little less.
148, but you have to take off 73, because that was in the original
That was in
bid.
the original
Yeah.
bid,
We've already had
so.
Yeah, so
part of it in the bid.
it's another 80,000.
70-some,
75.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are better than the last figures you had, was
Yeah.
another 100,000.
yeah,
Right,
So you're
We
going
didn't
the
have-
right way.
yeah.
right.
All right, you gotta explain that.
Part of the problem is
Have we
too,
spent 73,000?
No,
you would be spending it if it went forward where it was without issue.
That was part of
Right.
the budget.
Okay,
That was to accomplish the same work basically as option one. If things went perfect, it'd been 70-some thousand. Part of what you're fighting here too is the railroad and assessments. They're not required to pay for the installation under the tracks, whereas secondary roads is required. So all you can do with the railroad is try and treat it as best you can for benefit.
Is it drainage law that protects them from having to pay for it?
Quite
Or
sure it
is it other
is.
sections?
Well, you get into
they're a country.
commerce,
Well,
interstate
yeah.
commerce and everything else. It's,
The
yeah,
railroads are pretty powerful.
oh,
You don't mess with
it's
them.
scary some days, what we have to deal with, but.
So it seems like.
Hey, guys.
It seems like to me that the issue is only when we deal with a railroad.
Yes,
I think any other project we can do like our old system. But anytime we have to go under a railroad, we're gonna probably have to treat it differently.
Well, I
Yes.
think we've learned that.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
But I'll
very true.
guarantee you that come back, well, depends on how long you're here, but you'll run into another problem like this.
You've never had a railroad issue, have you?
No,
Yeah,
But-
this is our first one since you were on board.
it's come up, and since it's come up, it cost these drainage district landowners $75,000 for our education. So,
It was
you
everybody's
can't tell me
education.
that you know every situation that's gonna come up in the future,
No,
you know, so.
well, and
Well, it's a matter of, it still would have cost 70,000 more if we'd have done the soil testing and had found the sand there, then the bid would have been higher, so the project would have been higher. At least we'd have had that information when we made the decision to go
Right.
forward with it.
Right.
Now, the question is too, what about a smaller size tile? Would that make much difference in the,
no, not a lot. You'd have to make it drastically different.
and then, and option two here is quite a bit more than the last estimates that we had.
We didn't have the extra length of pipe that would be required if it went to that alternate crossing location.
We did talk about putting two through though, didn't we?
Talked about it, but
Yeah,
it doesn't pay.
no.
What about utilizing the old one?
That's so small.
You make it, how big, what size is it?
Remember.
You could put a sleeve in.
Doug, can I ask a question or two?
Go ahead.
Rick, I talked to you last week on the bids here, and I asked you about that back this summer when you first come with this extra $100,000, and asked you if you'd had anybody else bid it. And then I talked to you a couple weeks after that, and you said Jeremy found another contractor for $75,000 more instead of $100,000 more. And then when I talked to you last week, you didn't have your stuff in front of you
did you find out what happened to that? Why we're paying $100,000 more instead of 75 grand more?
The 100 grand was wrong, the 75 is what we're dealing with now. And really, there were 3 boring companies involved. The original boring company backed out when these difficulties were found, and the contractor then was able to find 2 other boring companies to give him quotes for the hammer and the normal method. And what you see here is a summation of the lesser of the cost for the subcontractor. The Driller Inc. or Driller LLC was the cheaper of the 2 bids that he could get from people to do this alternate installation. So the one that bid originally would not do the job, and then you got these other 2. We prepared this summation with the cheaper of those 2. And it ended up about 75,000.
The second question, why are we boring 120 feet?
Railroad
of
right
100?
of way, right of way is 120 feet, and they insist we go right of way to right of way.
I thought the right of way is 50 feet on each side.
That's a drainage ditch.
Yeah, that's a drainage ditch. The railroads, it varies a lot across the country, but it's 120 feet of right of way in this location. We have to go with whatever the right of way is for the railroad and go right of way line to right of way line.
Yeah, I was under the understanding that it was 50 feet on each side.
We've never talked about the railroad right-of-way footage.
We do a temporary easement over the tile 50 feet each side typically, unless it's deep, and then we go wider. Plus a permanent easement over the tile of 30 feet. But with the railroad, we have to go whatever their right-of-way width is in this location.
Right, it's only 20 feet more than what
Yeah.
a drainage ditch is. You got 100 feet going both ways on the drainage ditch, and this would be just 120.
Yeah.
But it's $1,100 a foot is what I asked. That's 22 grand. So I was like, if it's only 100 feet, why are we doing 120? So
We'll remeasure it. We'll remeasure it just to be absolutely positive, but that's what we were going with is the designated right-of-way width for the railroad. We'll verify it again.
Yeah.
Well, you can go on the Beacon website and measure it yourself too.
Yeah.
From the aerial photographs.
True.
I guess one other question going way back. I'm wondering why you decided to go on the west side of the old main instead of the east.
Just get away from the old main a little bit. Ended up, I don't believe we had any increased distance doing that.
But I was just out and measured for crop damage, and I come up with 130 feet additional distance going where you went versus if you'd gone on the east side of it.
Well,
There's another 16 grand.
I believe that old tile, isn't that the area where it completely washed out and took the dirt away and everything? I'm thinking that was part of an issue that we saw too. I think you hired somebody.
Well, you would have to go east of that.
Yeah.
Like you went west of it on the other side. I mean, you had to go away from that wash either direction because you had to be 150 feet away from the culvert.
Right. No, just clean route.
It was more flat too, I think.
Yeah, it was good and flat. We've snaked our way through there to stay in the low ground. Yeah.
You're not crossing the old one though, are you?
No. We're gonna
No.
tie into it north of the road.
And you wouldn't have crossed the old one on the other side either.
Well,
I think that's a little late to talk about.
Yeah.
We just need to finish this hearing.
we got north of the road and then cross connecting to pick everything from the north.
On Beacon, it does show 100 foot.
Well, we'll verify that.
That would be fine.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And I don't have the quotes we got to verify the footage that was in that.
I guess I'd like to add one comment while I got you on here. This is more so for the board of directors, or the supervisors. After having been involved in this now, I think it would be a good idea on these bigger projects for you to tag a couple of trustees of farmers that will quiz an engineer and see why we're doing what we're doing, to have a little hands-on on this, because we saw the numbers. I never saw where they were gonna do the tile or any, that question I just asked, I would have asked if I'd have known he was zigzagging over there looking at it. Well, that's further. Why would we do that? And then if he had a good reason, I would know. And it's just, I'm feeling like I have no control over how my money is being spent. And I think as a farmer, we should take some control over this and have some say in it along the way. And it would be a lot easier and cleaner for all of you guys to not have to field this stuff when somebody else has been in it from the get-go. Now, doesn't mean we're going to know what we're talking about, but at least somebody that's got skin in the game is going to say, well, I don't want to spend an extra 16 grand to go on that side. Or
I feel like
maybe we just look before we leap and dig here, because I thought this to myself when they were talking about boring under a 4-foot pipe. I thought, God, can you even do that? Well, he's an engineer. I assume we must be able to. Well, now after having been in it, there's a lot that goes into that, and we should have looked before we said yes to this.
Doug?
Because we would have known exactly like Mike said, that if we're going on that
clock with Cassuth County that we're already late for.
We can keep rehashing this.
Okay, all right.
Chris?
No, I just have a thing though, Doug. You guys
Yes.
always have a right to go and ask any questions. I've said that from the beginning, from the
Yes,
first.
I realize that, Chris, but this is an educational process for me as well. And engineers are experts. They're supposed to, I'm going to take his word for it because he knows that he does this all the time. Now, it's just one of those things I'm saying would be a good safety valve for these big projects, to have somebody look it over that's in there all that. Because if anybody would have asked me, I could have told them, yep, there's sugar sand in this area. Because I've done tiling through there. I know there's sugar sand now. I would have no idea to know that that's an issue for boring.
Doug, this is something we can rehash, between you, Chris, and the board, but we do have to go here, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Yep, all right, thanks.
Thank you.
I'd just like to make one more comment. Given these figures, I'm representing Knutstead Farms. We would want to go with option one because there's not that much of a savings compared to what you might end up spending. It's different than that.
And that's the third landowner, who has opted for option one.
Yeah, I think there's no question that we would go for option one.
Well, it sounded like everybody was for option one, other than they don't like the process we're going through to start with.
Right.
Yeah. And it helps that it's only 75 instead of 100.
Helps, some.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
All right, thanks.
So you want to just finalize this and
Yes, I will I will make the motion to approve the railroad report for DD 18 lat 11.
I'll second it.
Motion Center and a second by Derby to approve the railroad report for DD 18 lot 11. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Option one.
Option one.
Now we need the action on that to approve option one.
Have we
That's
already-
part of the
Have
report.
we have we already approved the contract?
No,
This is
that's what
part-
you're doing.
This is just an extension of the contract, right?
What you're approving is to go with option 1, 2, or 3.
Well, I understand that, but that's just an extension of the contract, correct?
It is.
Yes,
But
yes.
I
And
want
we
you
got the
to,
$100,000 contingency.
but I want you to just say option 1, please.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve option one.
I'll
Thank you.
second it.
Motion Stenger, second from Derby to approve option one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll get you a change order for that too, so
Okay, all right.
it's official that way.
Okay. 10:09 a.m. Annexation hearing for joint DD 68-136. Is Cassuth County gonna be on the line? Are we gonna call them or?
They should be on.
We're on the line.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about all this.
Oh, we were listening intently. We were getting educated.
Yeah, didn't cost you anything either.
You know, we really would have appreciated your guys' cranial cogitations to help us get through this.
Yeah. We liked option one too. I don't know what it was.
Okay,
Well, our drainage clerk said it's in the big county, so we'll let you guys handle it.
So, Bill, you gonna open the hearing?
okay, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for, it doesn't say.
68-136.
Yeah,
Joint district.
yeah, but it doesn't say.
Annexation.
On here.
Annexation hearing for joint DD 68-136.
Second, Rob. Second.
We'll second it over here if you want us to.
Yep. All right, that was Roger.
Yep.
Yeah, we just will have one from each one.
Bill made the motion.
Yep.
Bill Jensvold, you made the motion, did you?
Yep.
Do you have all 5 of your supervisors there?
Yes, we have the drainage clerk and we have our auditor.
Perfect, thank you.
Yep.
Call for the vote.
All right. Then all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All ayes here.
All right, consider for approval annexation report for joint DD 68-136.
Yes.
Well, they're still in the hearing, so you're just gonna explain the report first.
Right.
Oh. Is there any, anybody,
He's gonna explain it first.
okay, we got,
We had no comments on this side,
all
Bill.
right,
We prepared annexation reports for this. This has been something that's happened over and over in recent years where we're doing a reclassification on a district and we find parcels that should have been included but weren't. And most of the time, those are parcels that are on the outer limits of the district boundary. And they follow a property line instead of following the watershed line. In most cases, nearly all the cases, that's what's happening. So we ended up finding 2 parcels that fit that situation in Cassuth County and 1 in Winnebago County, and these reports reflect that. They're not very many acres, but it corrects a situation that we can remedy with this simple process. So we're recommending approval of the annexation reports, and then those will be included in the reclassification following.
They're all for it, so they just said they're all for it.
So we can close it?
yeah, so we gotta close, annexation hearing, I suppose, then vote on
And there's no railroad crossing involved, right?
that. Yeah, good.
No,
If we're done, I'll move that we close the public hearing, Bill.
All right, I'll second it. And a motion from Jarks and a second from Jensvold to close the annexation hearing for joint DD 68-136. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye. All ayes here.
All right. Okay, then we'll go on to, consider for approval annexation report for joint DD 68-136. I'll make a motion to approve the annexation report for joint DD 68-136.
I'll second that, Stecker.
Mr. Stecker seconds your motion.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. 10:13 a.m. instead of 10:05. Reclassification hearing for joint DD 68-136. We have to have a vote to open that, I assume?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to open the reclassification hearing for joint DD 68-136.
Was it Jen Wolf that made the motion?
Jen Paul made
Yep.
a motion.
I'll second it, Platt.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye. All ayes here.
Is there any, discussion on that?
We have none here.
No comments.
We haven't either.
Okay, then, I'll make a
I'll move we
motion,
close the public hearing.
and I'll second it. A motion from Jarks and a second from Jensvold to close the hearing for joint, reclassification hearing for joint DD 68-136. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, consider for approval reclassification report for joint DD 68-136. I'll make a motion to approve the reclassification report for joint DD 68-136.
I'll second your report. This is Roger.
Okay,
Motion.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye. All ayes here.
All right, all ayes here. Alrighty, well, then I guess, that's
you.
that. It took a lot longer for you to wait for us to get there than it did to handle it.
We're just really efficient on this end, Bill.
Yeah,
you.
well, you know what, I'm gonna have to start going to a few of your supervisor meetings to see if I can learn something.
It might be a detriment, Bill.
Oh, yeah, well, do I need to bring my own security?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, it's a rough crowd over here.
Somebody calls in on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we gotta close in. That's it, Bill, we're gonna cut
All
off
right.
and go to a different meeting.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Merry Christmas.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
What's the number that
You can probably just sign his own report.
Fine.
This is DD 68. All the laterals and all the stuff. It was huge.
Yeah. All right, well, then, looks like we've covered our agenda. We are,
How about COVID? We never heard anything back from Kelsey then.
Well, I didn't even email her. We'll just.
yeah, you're gonna
next
handle it
week.
next week, Brittany.
Yeah.
All right, we stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
How do you, you know, when you stand and then you're adjourned, is that like bent over backwards or,
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, it's going nowhere.
For being only an hour and